Hello and welcome to another Reasonable Boy podcast. Today we're going to take a look at what's been happening in the world in the past few weeks and, a few days actually. And it's really alarming to see what's happening. All hell's broken out at the White House with President Zelenskyy and President Trump and the deal or no deal or whichever deal may come with Ukraine for their mineral rights. And President Trump's insistence of a peaceful handover of territory from Ukraine to Russia and the peace process that goes with it. It's really remarkable that this Ukraine war has been going for so long, and yet there's been chances for peace in the past. Ukraine and Russia were going to do a deal a couple of years ago, but I think it was 2022, 23, can't remember which one it was now. And Boris Johnson, the UK Prime Minister, was sent to make sure that that deal didn't happen. I think the hawks in the White House, but under Joe Biden, didn't want that to happen. And so they sent Boris over to sort it out. I'm no friend of Trump, but I think what he said is quite right in some respects. It's time for peace. And when there's peace, there's always a price, there's always a compromise. And for Zelenskyy and the Ukrainian people, that price may be the mineral rights. Now, you can talk about whether or not that is a suitable price to pay, but I think in all reality, it's a price worth paying for the end of the war. And it does give them US backing in that because obviously US got interest in those mineral rights, they're not going to stand aside if Russia does something again. And so what does Russia get out of this? Well, I think realistically it gets the land that it wanted in the Crimea area and the ethnically Russian speaking part of Ukraine that voted for Russia. I think they get that bit. And of course we avoid a larger conflict. The real worrying part about this is, it's hard to say this and with a straight face, but it makes President Trump as a peacemaker, whereas we are seeing Keir Starmer and von der Leyen, the UE Commission President, and Macron and what have you, all saying we're going to give Ukraine more money to buy more arms and continue the war. You don't want a war in Europe. I know it's Eastern Europe, but you don't want a war in Europe. So what are these guys, idiots, playing about? And I can only think that there's some interests for them in making the war extend more. Is it a case that they're like the despot in Ukraine, Zelenskyy, and they want to back him because they're pretty stupid, actually, if that's the case. All he's done is dragging people off the street for a war that's unwinnable. He's stopped the democratic process in Ukraine as well. People are unnecessarily dying. Is it 400,000 now at the moment? So you've got to really question not only the competence, but are they actually stupid as well? I can only comment on Keir Starmer because I'm here in the UK, and to be quite honest with you, it's been so disappointing. But then, what do you expect from this guy? He's an idiot. Yeah, he's a KC or QC, whether he's a KC now, I don't know, but he was a QC. And everybody lauded him and said, oh, look, he's a strategic thinker and he's good at processes and thinking. He's utterly useless. He wants us to give them something like, I think it's nearly £9 billion so far we've given Ukraine for arms. Yet we've got old people who are going to die this winter, an extra 4,000, because they've taken away the winter fuel allowance. You've got people who are the two-child benefit cap, of people like that, and for the sake that old, disabled, or having their welfare benefits going to be cut. It's cutting the most vulnerable people in our society to pay for a war, which is unwinnable. Everybody knows. Everybody with a brain knows that war is unwinnable. And yes, I'm sure it puts the noise out of joint that Russia will come out of this better than probably Ukraine. But, Russia is is one of the superpowers, America, Russia, China. So what do they expect? I'm just aghast that our politicians are so dumb, so stupid. They can't think outside the box. And in the end of the day, who's the £500 gorilla in the room? It's President Trump. Because if he's got the situation now where if you don't do what he wants you to do, bad things are going to happen. And I think at this present moment in time, the right thing to do would be to not give this guy any more money in Ukraine and say to Zelenskyy, you got an offer there. I know you don't like it, but it's an offer to bring about peace. My advice would be to accept it. I know you don't like it. I know there's a lot of people in Europe and elsewhere who say, we're giving in to Russia and things like that. It's about compromise, and war is a compromise in some respects. And so I think I would rather have that compromise, stop the fighting, stop the killing, stop having people dragged off the streets. It's easy to say, and easy to puff out your chest and walk around and stand around in Parliament and say, well, we should take on the Russians and we should... It's not your son, it's not your daughter, not your relative in those trenches. And it's very easy to be an armchair general. And I think for the sake of this country, we shouldn't be giving them any more money whatsoever for arms and ammunition, which is say it's over, it's done. Sue for peace, because we're not spending any more money. And it's amazing how we can find this £9 billion. And only a few months ago, they were saying, we've got a £22 billion black hole. We can find it for war, so why can't we find it for peace? Anyway, let's see what happens. See you later. Reasonable Boy out.